I'm Heather, and I have always loved to travel. So when I got the idea of driving across Canada by myself, I had to make it happen. I spent a year saving and planning for this trip, and on July 2nd, 2022, I headed out from my hometown of New Waterford, Nova Scotia, to drive 6,500 kilometers to Horsefly, British Columbia, and back again. It turns out there's more to see in this beautiful country than just the Trans-Canada Highway, and by the time I returned home 42 days later, I had gone 16,000 kilometers in my Jeep Wrangler, hauling a tent trailer. I had seen some amazing things and had the definition of a trip of a lifetime. You want to hear me say that things didn't go exactly as planned, but the truth is there was no plan, only a sense of wonder. People ask me what the best part of the trip was, and truthfully, it was simply taking the trip. Come with me now as I share my adventures from coast to coast in this beautiful country that we call Canada. So I just left a place called Lake St. Peter, and it was delightful. It was the quietest campground I have ever stayed at in my life, and except for the people who were making lots of noise down the hill, but the campground itself, like the area, super quiet. Couldn't hear a highway, couldn't hear any generators buzzing. It was like every animal in the woods was asleep. Like, it was unbelievably quiet. I loved it. And there was this very nice gentleman across the way, across the parking lot in a different spot. And I was really struggling to get the trailer parked the first night that I got here. And instead of doing that thing that a lot of guys do, run over and tell you how to do it, he came over and he was like, "Can I offer any assistance?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm totally fucked here. I can't get this trailer backed up at all." And so he was very helpful, very delightful. And it was great because he asked if he could help me. He didn't just assume that I couldn't do it, but in his defense and in mine, I had tried many, many times to back up the trailer. There's certain spots, because the hitch on the trailer is short, it makes it really difficult to back it up into certain spots, but for the most part, I do okay with it. Anyway, this guy was really nice. He kind of hung around all weekend, him and his family and his grandkids, and they come over and chatted with me, and they had this beautiful dog named Lucky. And so I was sitting there, I don't even know what day. Today's Sunday, so it would have been Friday night. I stayed there all weekend, and I lit a fire, and this nice couple came around the corner, and they were like, "That's an amazing fire." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. I built it myself." And they were like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's no one else here. I did it myself." And so that was pretty funny. And so what I'm finding is that people are very interested in why I'm doing this, why I'm driving across the country, why I'm doing it alone. And I'm not getting any of that sort of messaging that I got before I left. The messaging before I left was, someone should really go with you, or, please be careful, and all out of concern, of course. But it's really interesting now that I'm on the road and it's kind of done, and I'm out here, all of the responses and comments from people are very positive. People are very excited for me. I went into a small town yesterday called Barry's Bay, Ontario, and I went there because they had a Tim Hortons, and I was dying for coffee. And I have trailer coffee, but it is exactly as it sounds. It's trailer coffee. So I go into this town, and the Tim Hortons is insane, of course, so I can't get anywhere near it. And I end up at this little antique shop, and so I spend an hour in this town going through the shops and going to the farmer's market. And it was a small farmer's market, but it was really nice. But my favorite part of the day was that there was this guy singing songs, and he was singing all my favorite songs. He was singing CCR, John Fogerty, he was singing John Prine, he was singing Johnny Cash. And I was like, did somebody tell you that I was going to be here? Because these are all my favorite songs. So that was amazing. And then I went to this other little small town which is just outside Lake St. Peter, and it's sort of the main hub to the campground where I was. And I went into this shop and I said to the guy, I'm looking for lawn darts and patio lanterns. And he said, I love a good herringbone accent. And I was like, what? What the fuck does herringbone accent mean? Anyway, he said, I was born in Scotland. I grew up for a few years in Scotland, and I could hear a Scottish accent from a mile away. And I was like, well, I'm from Nova Scotia. And he was like, same thing. So that was really funny because I'd never heard anybody call an East Coast accent herringbone. I actually tried to look it up because I thought maybe it was like a turn of phrase or something. And so I said to my husband, this guy said I had a herringbone accent, and I don't think he meant it as an insult. And my husband said, oh, it's probably like between New Waterford and Glace Bay. You can tell when someone's from Glace Bay. Locally, it might be like a local saying to them in Scotland. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, that's cool, that makes sense. So that was kind of neat. Anyway, he gave me the name of a place where I can get patio lanterns and lawn darts. And it was 80 kilometers back the way that I came. And I was like, oh, okay, well, if there's one, there's many. So I'll just keep an eye out as I keep traveling. But today I'm headed towards a town campground, I don't even know, called Chutes, C-H-U-T-E-S. And I'm only staying there one night. I kind of wish I hadn't have done that because setting up the campground is a lot of work. But I tried when I left Lake St. Peter today to be very pragmatic about what I was packing away and what I was leaving in the trailer, so that when I pop up the trailer again in 8 hours, it'll be pretty much ready to go. So I'm learning. It's pretty fun to be like, where am I and what town is this and where can I get some gas and a coffee? So it's pretty cool. But the only reason I'm staying one night in Chutes is because it takes a full 24 hours to drive through Ontario, and I think I'm spending 9 days total here. So I've already done 4 days, so I think I was just trying to hurry it along a little bit. But anyway, it's one night. It'll be quiet, and then I'll be off again tomorrow for another 6-hour day of driving, I think. But then I'm staying in my next location for 2 nights, and then 2 nights after that, and then I'll be in Winnipeg after that, staying with a friend of mine named Kelly. And I know Kelly from the internet and from the entrepreneurial world, and I've never met Kelly in real life, but we've had some Zoom calls and chats together over the years. I don't even know how long I've known her, actually, but when she saw I was doing this, she so graciously invited me to stay at her house, and I was like, fuck it, yeah. So, of course, all the comments from people are, what do you mean you're staying at a stranger's house? And I'm like, I'm not a stranger. Like, I've seen Kelly on the internet and talked to her in real time. And, every comment from people that I say, oh, I'm staying at this person's house that I don't know, they're like, what if he's like a big fat hairy man? And I'm like, oh, that's not so bad. So, anyway, I'm gonna drive here for the next few hours. If I see anything cool, I'll let you know. But so far, so good. I'm feeling pretty rested. I thought I took a COVID test last night, actually, because my throat was really sore and it was getting worse by the minute. I think I was just really tired and stressed out, actually, because the day before, the tail lights for the trailer stopped working, and I had to find a mechanic, like a service station. It was Friday afternoon, and I had to find a service station, and they were like, oh, your fuse is busted. So they gave me a new fuse, and that fixed it, and I went down the road 10 minutes, and then it busted again. And so I had to find another service station. And when I went to the second service station, they sent me to a third service station because they couldn't help me. And so I actually ended up at a trailer sales and service place where they knew exactly what the problem was.
In 10 kilometers, turn left onto Highway 60.
Spent a whole hour fixing my trailer and my lights and checking all the wires to make sure there was no corrosion or no danger. It was straight up just there wasn't a strong enough fuse in whatever, the fuse box, I guess. I don't even know. So anyway, now I know where the fuse is for the trailer lights, and they ended up giving me a bigger one because they said it wasn't big enough for the number of lights on the trailer. And so, which was weird because I've had the trailer for over 2 years now and I've never had trouble with it, but it's the ongoingness of it now, I guess. you know, the constant braking and starting and stuff. They said it just tripped the wire. So anyway, I did that. It cost me 3 hours of my travel time, but that was pretty good on a Friday afternoon. And they didn't charge me, so they spent a whole hour helping me and didn't charge me. And I was like, take my money. And they were like, God, no, just have a great trip, please. That's our payment. So there's lots of nice people out here, folks, and I don't think you really have to worry. I think there's always somebody to help you. But anyway, I'm going to drive. I got a long way to go here, and I'll check in with you later. Well, I'm driving through Algonquin Provincial Park. Again, thought it was a national park. But because I stayed at another Ontario provincial park within a certain amount of time, I was able to come in for free. And my plan was just to look at some look-offs, maybe do a quick short hike. Anyway, that was 3 hours ago. I've been hiking and I went kayaking again, and I'm just like, oh, so sun-fucked right now. I had the best turkey sandwich I've ever had in my life. I don't know if it's because I'm hungry or it was that good, but it was that good. And so anyway, I put myself 3 hours behind schedule. Good thing I have no schedule. This has been the best travel day yet so far. I think I had it in my head that travel days are just for getting on the road and going. And I passed a couple of spots where I knew you could rent kayaks, you could see the signs, and I was like, no, I'm on the road. Today's a travel day. I'll do it another day. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? This is exactly what this trip is for. So anyway, I just kayaked, and at this point, I will probably have to kayak 1 or 2 more times before it will be cheaper to just buy myself a kayak. So I'm going to keep that in mind. Yeah. Beautiful spot here. I think this is called Two Rivers Lake, and some guy named Tom Thompson was here and died, and they found his body, and there was a spot on an island you could go, and there was a memorial. So anyway, I gotta get on the road. It is getting late. I don't want to drive in the dark, and I think I have a 5.5, 6 hour drive ahead of me. So I'm full. I've got fresh iced coffee. The sun is shining. It is 27 degrees, and I am heading out. It's been a great day.